Here we are with Dan Rodgers, head coach of our men's and women's tartan golf programs. Dan, it's great to speak with you. I have to ask, where are you right now?
Well, Jason, good to see you as well. I am in my shed. It is one of the places here at my house that I can be left alone for a little while. Having three little kids running around and some of them trying to do schoolwork, it's insane inside the four walls. So being outside with a little bit of quiet, this is where I am.
Dan, you were with your teams on your annual spring break trip, having some of the greatest success in program history. The women were ranked first nationally and the men ranked fourth. When the breaks were put on and the rest of the season was canceled, how are you handling that adversity moving forward?
To have it end the way it did, it was tough. I mean, it was tough on a lot of us, or all of us, I should say. There were some tears at the end of that trip as we knew that we'd had our final dinner and everybody was getting ready. We're packing up, getting ready to fly out the next day to come back home, and knowing that we were going to disperse and that was going to be the end of the season was tough, especially after how we started and what the hopes were for the year, going into this spring. We really hoped that we were going to contend for some national championships and play and compete the rest of the way through. And, have that kind of stop was tough. But obviously there's a lot more important things going on in the world, and trying to figure out how that plays into our future, I guess, is the next step in what we're working on a daily basis.
Dan, speaking of the success, what do you attribute that to? What were the steps taken over the past 4 years that got you to this point where we have two top five teams in the national rankings?
Yeah, I think it first starts with support from the athletic department, letting us do what I thought was necessary to compete on the national level. Those big tournaments that we had to get to, in the South or out West, wherever they may be, that support was huge, because you get there, you get an opportunity to play, compete, and then you do well, and that kind of snowballs. I think that helps with the recruiting process to get the next wave of kids in that are good players that want to be part of a championship program. And then, the support of our donors as well is helping out with how they have in purchasing new equipment. Our Foresight GC quad that we got a year ago has been awesome for us to have indoors for practice. That was one of the things that we relied on to get ready for this spring, having not being able to get outside. Raising funds to get the indoor putting green that we got. That was another huge thing for us to have to work on short game when we couldn't get outside. So those are things that have kind of, I think, helped with the cascading effect of us getting to where we are. That support from everyone has really helped. And I think that's what's going to set us up for some great success moving forward.
Dan, can you describe the experience of being a varsity athlete on the men's and women's golf programs at CMU?
They get a great opportunity being student athletes at CMU. The support that we have from our department the whole way, through our donors and families that support our travel and the other stuff that we get, other supplies and equipment, that opportunity to represent Carnegie Mellon on a greater stage, competing at a really high level, experiencing the academic excellence that both of our teams have had over the course of time. I think it's kind of woven together, having that opportunity to be a student and an athlete, and not maybe an athlete first, then being a student, is huge. That they get to have some balance, that, we get to travel to some really cool tournaments in the South and out West. But also they get to be students and study the subject matters that they want. There's nobody telling them that they can't study a certain subject. And so I think they really love that opportunity, love that part about being a varsity athlete at CMU on the golf team or golf teams. And so I think that's why we're having the success we are, is that we keep drawing those kids in from around the world that want to be part of this and want to be part of something that's hopefully building a championship tradition.
Okay, Dan, looking forward, what are your goals and aspirations for the 2020-21 season for these teams?
Yeah, I think much of the same as it was for 2019-2020, to be the most competitive team in the classroom and on the golf course, to continue that momentum of, academic excellence and excellence on the golf course. I mean, it's something that we strive for every year. But I think after this stoppage of the 2019 season and 2020 season, and having the success that we've had with both teams, not having that conclusion at the end of the year with a chance at a national championship, or at least playing for one, I think is part of it. And that's going to give the motivation for what's going to happen next. And that's to continue that, I guess, what we want to call a tradition of excellence in the classroom and on the golf course, and just competing at the highest level. I mean, we're not going to hide behind the fact that we want to win and compete and be the best. It'd be crazy to think that anybody out there wouldn't say the same thing. So it's just a big deal for us to continue that momentum, as I said earlier, with excellence both in the classroom and on the golf course at the highest level that we can.
So, Dan, as you know, 4 of 5 players score in team golf. You've been confined with your family of 5 for the last few weeks. Who's not scoring on your family team?
Yeah, that's my boy, my 5-year-old son, for sure. If you look at the devilish grin on his face in this picture, you'll understand why. And he's going for par 5 and 2 from 280 with water everywhere, hitting driver off the deck. Just he's either going to shoot 65 or 88. That's my boy. He's the guy that's definitely not counting in this round.
Dan, I want to thank you for coming out and taking your time this afternoon to be part of this segment. Your thoughts and opinions are always appreciated. I look forward to seeing you out there this fall.
Thanks, Jason. I'm looking forward to being out there this fall when we get back into the swing of things, getting back with the team, getting back to competing and traveling. That's going to be a great thing for all of us that hope of better things to come. We're looking forward to it.